You might have heard about the rich getting richer. Well, so should you. So I'm going to get into the tips in this video, and I'll skip the intro because I don't feel like doing one. So true wealth actually comes from spending less than you make, which means live within your means. Spending more than you make, so when you get your paycheck, you actually spend more than that. It's pretty much the best way of staying broke. It's the truth. I'm gonna give you some truth bombs here. If you're living paycheck to paycheck right now, it's not gonna get you anywhere. Those are actually wealth preventers. Every time I try to show you how to make money, this is how you're gonna not make money. You're gonna prevent yourself from ever becoming wealthy if you just live paycheck to paycheck and you spend more than you make and you like rack up credit card debt. You don't want to be doing that. What you want to be doing is have some savings and then use your savings to invest. Don't just keep your savings in the bank and do nothing with them. Actually use them. 74% of Americans would be financially screwed if their paycheck was delayed by a week, which is incredible. Too many people spend all their money and live paycheck to paycheck. What I want you to do is actually invest your money so that it grows. You can't actually invest your money if you're not saving, and you can't be saving if you're living paycheck to paycheck. And you can't save unless you live below your means. So please start living below your means. My next tip is only buy things that make you money. So if you buy a house, yeah, that's going to make you money eventually. If you buy crypto, yeah, that's going to make you money eventually. If you buy that new sweater you've been wanting, that's not going to make you money. So don't buy it. You might not want to hear this stuff because it's like, ugh, I want that sweater. I'm not listening to you. It's okay. If you don't want to do these steps, don't do them. But if you want to get rich, then do them. And consumers tend to stay broke, whereas producers, creators, business owners, investors, they're the ones that make money. Other things that are going to make you money are your education. So if you're going to spend, say, $30,000 on education and you take like, I don't know, engineering or something like that, surely you're going to make that $30,000 back with your job. Because if you're going to go like traditional education and go to university or something or college and you take a specific course in something, then make sure that makes you money. So make sure that if you are spending big amounts on your education or on a house, just make sure that it's going to actually make you money. And if you are going to spend like 20, 100K on university or college or whatever, then make sure it's something that actually interests you. And don't just do it because that's what your parents want for you. Like your parents want you to become a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer, but it's not what you want. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to go into year 1, year 2, you're going to have no interest, you're going to be depressed, you're going to hate going to school all the time. And then maybe after 3 or 4 years, you're going to change your major, you're going to decide, I don't want to be in this industry, I want to be in another industry, and you're going to change. And that's going to be a lot of wasted money. The average person actually changes careers 7 times. So make sure that if you're going to spend that much money on something and you don't like it after like 3 months, change. Fail fast. Fail fast. Don't keep going a year into your course, 2 years, 3 years, knowing that you've hated it the whole time, because it's a waste of time and it's a waste of money. It's better to actually go into a course that you love and it's something that you're going to want to do for a while and you could actually make the money back that you've put in. Otherwise, don't do it at all. And especially don't do it for the happiness of your parents, because at the end of the day, who's going to live your life? It's you. Who's number one? It's you. You might be living your life to try to make your parents happy or your partner happy, but really, if you're not happy, none of it's actually worth it. Because at the end of the day, I think that they would prefer your happiness to you making money in a certain industry. I've stayed working in jobs I didn't like, and I've stayed working in industries I didn't like, and I've even stayed in relationships that I didn't like. And that's why I've adopted this fail fast thing, because if you're gonna fail, do it quick. Don't waste years of your life. You know, stick to it if you like it, but if you don't like it, fail fast. Even if it's gonna be a hard conversation, even if it's gonna be a hard decision to make, even if you're gonna disappoint some people. So at the end of the day, if you're not happy every day, it doesn't matter about anybody else's happiness but your own. Also, if you're going to do a huge investment like buy a house, then make sure it's in an area that actually is proven to grow. And You can't just think all real estate will grow, because that's not true. Because there's some areas in Quebec, Canada, like in Gatineau, for example, the houses don't go up in value as much as they would in like downtown Ottawa. At the end of the day, in my personal opinion, I don't think that real estate is the best way to go if you're going to invest. I think definitely invest in cryptocurrencies, because you can make 10% a year in real estate. Like we make 10% a day in crypto. So yeah, definitely think about what you're investing in and research it. Definitely research it. Even in Australia, when I lived in Point Cook at one point, so I lived in like St. Kilda and a whole bunch of other places, South Yarra, which was really cool. But at one point I moved to Point Cook, okay? You know, having like the big house and all that stuff. But really the houses there didn't go up in value as much as they like an apartment downtown was. And there was a lot of problems in Point Cook as well. Like it was built on a swamp. And I don't want to talk bad about it. I'm sure like a lot of people made a lot of money there. And I still know some people that like live there. So, but for me, it wasn't cool, because I liked going into town and like doing my dancing and going to the beach and, you know, doing my bike rides and stuff like that. But the money is not there because it's so far from the bullseye. You want to be as close as possible to the center of the city. And the closer you are, the more money that you're going to make. So when you make a big decision like that, research everything about the area to make sure that it's a growing area. And make sure that it's not on a swamp, because that's something I learned as well. Also, a car is not an investment. No matter what you say, it is not an investment. A car is not an investment. I'll say it again. You know, if you invested in a bike, and even if it takes you like an hour to bike to work, at least you're getting that fitness in, you know? Burn fat, not fuel. If you could bike everywhere, you'll save time going to the gym or like working out, because biking's free, like besides like the actual cost of your bike, which really is an investment if you think about it. You're investing in your health, and you're going all sorts of places. You're like going everywhere. Like I literally bike everywhere. And if you want to go on a road trip on the weekends and go camping or whatever you want to do far away where you can't bike, then just rent a car. It's actually, I've done the calculation, and if you rented a car every weekend, it's still cheaper than owning a car. So think about that. If it helps you live within your means, then do it. My next tip is focus on wealth creation. And that's a biggie for me. When I adopted this myself, it really changed my mindset on things, because if I stopped focusing on debt and started focusing on wealth creation and stopped thinking about like, how can I pay off my debt, but then ask myself the question, how can I make more money? It changed everything for me. So when you're living within your means and you're saving, and then use the savings to invest in things that make you money. The best two ways to make money, in my opinion, are business and crypto. Honestly, they're the ways that I made money the most. Like real estate too, but real estate was a very slow process and I needed a big chunk of money to start. Whereas business I did first, and then crypto I did second, and they were like very, very, very profitable once I got it right. Crypto is literally a crazy moneymaker. Like I said before, if you invest in real estate, like if you make 10% a year in real estate, you are lucky. You bought in a good area and you're lucky. Well, in crypto, we make that a day, and sometimes even 3-4 times a day. Like it's actually ridiculous. Like the other day in an hour, I made over 200%. So it's crazy. Like when the market moves an insane amount of money and you get it, it's like the profits are ridiculous. Business is also a great way to make money. If you do it wrong, it could be a money pit. You could be like spending and spending and spending. That's why I really suggest that you just invest in your education when it comes to business. Don't try to do it on your own. Especially now, like we have so many tools. Like why are you still trying to learn business on your own? Like that's crazy. That could actually be a waste of money and a waste of time. Like if there's one thing where I could go back, I wish that I seeked out more mentors and more knowledge faster, because I would have got there faster. Like it took me years to make my first million. And my second million was a lot easier. With crypto, I actually made $1 million in a day, believe it or not. My account was at 1 million, and in one day it was at 2 million because like of how crazy the market moved. But that's obviously, yeah, that has a lot of factors around it. But with business, Like with business alone, I started a brand new business last year and I made $1 million in sales in 7 months. And that's because of all the other experience I had. So if I had that experience in the past, I would have done that a lot faster. Like 7 months to make $1 million is like pretty good. And I know some people make like more or whatever, but after like everything I've literally been through and all the money that I've lost, I really wish I would have just like seeked out more knowledge earlier and practiced more earlier, and listened to the right people as well earlier. Like often I listened to the wrong people and it got me like nowhere. So really listen to the right people as well. So I honestly believe that trying to save money by trying to learn everything yourself, like think about like the years that you will waste and the money that you will waste trying to learn things yourself. And I'm not just saying that because I have a course, because people are like, oh, you're just saying that because you have a course. No, I'm saying that like for yourself, no matter what it is that you want to learn. If you want to learn something, if you take an online course, everything will be laid out for you. Whereas if you try to learn bits and pieces, it'll be in the wrong order. And a lot of the information could be right, but you need to know in what order to do it all. You know, if you're listening to this now for the first time and you've never taken an online course, you don't really know what it's like. But if I speak to you in like 2 years when you're trying to learn everything yourself, and then you say to me, oh, I wish I just listened to you and just like taken a class and just learned everything, I would have saved 2 years of my life. Because people actually have come to me and said those kind of things. People actually have come to me after they've lost money in crypto and said like, ugh, wish I would have just come to you from day one. I wouldn't have lost all that money. I would have learned it faster. Like I didn't even know these techniques existed. And now it's like, godsend. Like now I could actually move on. But sometimes you're just not ready. Sometimes your mindset's not there. Sometimes your mindset is still in like scarcity, save, don't spend. But really, it's good to spend on yourself. It's good to spend on investing in yourself and investing in your education, investing in like your training. It's actually not a bad thing because you save time and money in the long run. Like if you think, like picture your life, right? Picture like the next 5 years of your life. Do you want to spend 2 years messing up and then finally giving in, buying a course, and then like the next 3 years are awesome, and then in 5 years be like, I wish I just did it 5 years ago? Because that's what's going to end up happening. So that really is a mindset thing. It's about having the abundant mindset versus the scarcity mindset. And I bet you in life you're going to make some expensive mistakes, but you'll learn from those mistakes. So it's up to you what you want to spend the money on. Do you want to spend the money when you make your expensive mistakes, or spend the money to take a course? Like that honestly is up to you, because life costs money, because you make life mistakes as well. Not just monetary mistakes, life mistakes. Anyway, I think it's better to pick up where your mentor left off than to try to reinvent the wheel and start from scratch and like learning it yourself, where you just like learn from someone who's done it. My next tip is don't make big decisions when you're stressed or you're anxious or you're sad, because psychology has proven actually that if you make decisions during that time, you'll actually make the wrong decision. So instead, sit down with yourself, meditate for a minute, and make the decision later. You're actually going to be in a better place and it'll avoid an expensive mistake. Also, listen to binaural beats. If you listen to binaural beats, there's a certain frequency to it and it's good for your brain. My next tip is stop trying to do everything yourself and start hiring people to help you. Even if that's in your day-to-day life, if you're spending like 2 hours a week on like laundry and cleaning your house, and just hire a cleaner and then use that time to do something productive for yourself. Like even if that's gym time, because even gym time is more productive for yourself. But that might be like work on your business, write that book, start learning the cryptocurrency skills that you need. Like when you outsource parts of your life, you could actually focus on wealth creation instead of being bogged down by being busy all the time. Just bite the bullet, spend the money on a cleaner, and then use that time. For me, that's one of literally my habits. So I wrote this like ebook, and I had a cleaner come in, clean my house, and I would go to the cafe and I would write, you know? And that's one of the first ebooks I wrote, and it's made me over $16,000 when I had first launched it. So was it worth it getting that cleaner? Yes, because of course at first, cleaners are expensive. Again, scarcity mindset, which is how I was raised. Like my parents literally, like, they were like embarrassed for me that I was getting a cleaner, because like that's how I grew up. Like you do everything yourself, you work hard. But I'm like, no, my mindset is changing and has changed, and that's why I'll spend the money to hire a cleaner. Even when I didn't even have that much money then, but the money I had, I knew that I needed time. So I would spend the money on a cleaner that would come in for like 3 hours, so I didn't have to do it that week. And then I would go to the cafe and I would spend that time working on my book. Let's say you have kids and you're like, well, I can't do it because I have kids. Listen, some of my friends have kids and they've had kids since they were like 17 years old. Like one of my friends has 3 kids, and she did it since she was 17 years old, and she made a massive success out of herself. And she was a single mom as well. So that's just an excuse, because what you can do is take the money and get like a sitter, or take the money and get a cleaner or whatever. You know, I'm sure that there are ways that you could do it. You just gotta think more creatively. Stop thinking, no, you're wrong. No, you can't do it. Because again, that's a mindset thing. If you're thinking no, the answer is gonna be no. But if you're like, how can I do it? How could I find a way? Ask yourself better questions. Stop boggling your mind down with these like excuses and start thinking, wait a minute, I'm gonna do it. How can I do it though? And your mind will start listening to those questions and answering them for you. Everything in your mind is gonna be directed towards what you said, because your mind always wants what you said to be true. So if you say, no, I can't do it, I'm too busy, for me it won't work, then that's gonna be your life. But if you think for a minute, okay, maybe I can't right now, but how could I figure out a way? How could I figure out a solution? And start thinking more creatively, like, what's the solution to this? How can I do it? How can I do it? Eventually you'll come up with the answer, and it might come to you maybe even in a dream, or you'll start seeing someone, or you'll see somebody in the streets that you haven't seen for a long time, and they give you an idea. Like anything could happen if you're open to it. Now, if you do hire someone, actually use that time, and don't like just watch TV or do nothing. Actually use that time. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this video in a part 2. So I'll see you there. Bye.